Today we just gonna keep the series going. If you haven't seen my other videos already, go check those out. I've done what we're gonna call the best series, right? So the best series basically contains the best 3 games, or at least like the top 3 games, with maybe an honorable mention if there are any for each Roblox anime game in the community. So far we've done Demon Slayer and we've done Blue Lock. Now this list may be updated for any of the animes in the future, but for now we just have what we have. So today we're gonna talk about Bleach today. If you have any anime suggestions that you want me to cover next, go ahead and leave that comment down in the description below. Without further ado, let's just get straight to the list. Yo, leave me alone. All right, my bad, y'all. We had some technical difficulties, but now we're back. Anyways, so like always, we have 3 games on the list. Like I said, if we do have any honorable mentions, I am gonna list an honorable mention. My first honorable mention, of course, will be Peroxide. Everybody knows about Peroxide. I don't think I have to dive too much into it, but I don't think, like I said, it is one of the top 3. But it's definitely a close, very, very, very close 3. So, like always, none of the games are going to be in order, so we're just going to dive into the first game. The first game I put on this list is Type Soul. Now, Type Soul, of course, is easily the most recognizable Bleach game on the Roblox platform, right? The game has built the rep around, you know, its PvP, the type mechanics, deep faction-based progression, whether you're Soul Reaper, Quincy, Hollow, blah, blah, blah. Each race do get its own specific and unique abilities and transformations and skills that completely change how you play the game. No matter what race you choose, everything is going to be different. Now, as far as the skill trees are typically the same, but each race has its own different abilities or special transformations, Shikai's, Bastalordes, Bankai's, Volt Standings, whatever. But it's not really just about its looks. The combat is pretty chill and fast paced. It does punish bad movement, so if you fuck up, do something bad. And it also reward players that understand spacing and basically its combo setups. Now, Type Soul typically had its cheeses. Definitely had its cheeses. Speed as well, kind of. Now, the only thing about Type Soul in the very beginning, where Type Soul definitely felt like very, very, very grindy, especially for the new players, unlocking like his Mankai, Resurrection, the Volt Standing, all that took time if you didn't have somebody to guide you. And it could typically feel pretty overwhelming at times. And the PvP was definitely like meta heavy. So like certain builds or clans can just dominate unless you had the right loadout. So if you didn't have the right loadout, that shit was pretty tough to keep up with. But aside from that, I do think Type Soul was pretty decent game. It balancing sometimes was pretty shitty, but every game balancing isn't, you know, as bad. It's not horrible, right? But yeah, if you love like the competitiveness of a Roblox anime game, I think Type Soul is a pretty good game to dive into. Moving on from the first game, we're gonna tap into Peroxide. Now, Peroxide, in my opinion, is definitely easily one of the most underrated games on the list. It doesn't try to be Type Soul, which pretty much makes it pretty special. It actually leans more into an RPG experience with like the focus on exploring, character development, and this PvE versus just PvP. You actually get to interact with NPCs, level up naturally, and, you know, discover new powers in a way that actually feel like you're living in the show in a way if you actually watch the show. The progression in this game is pretty smooth, way smoother than Type Souls. You're not forcing the PvP to level up, but instead you could just grind the missions, mobs, unlock your Shikai, your hollow powers, woody woo, all without being ganked every 5 minutes, because Type Soul is definitely, like, at a certain point, it was definitely P-Line. The UI is pretty clean. The ability system was pretty easy to understand, in my opinion. And the visual effects, honestly, the effects for the game is pretty, for a mid-sized Roblox game, it was pretty cool. It was pretty alright. It wasn't, like, really nothing crazy, but it was good for the most part. It does have its downside, meaning, like, player base for the game, which much smaller than a lot of the other games. And the PvP scene wasn't really as prominent as, you know, other Bleach games like Type Soul or. But for like a balanced experience, if you wanted like to play a Bleach game that is definitely balanced, chill grinding, solid combat, I think Peroxide is definitely a hidden gem for that. Now, moving on to the last Bleach game I have on this list, we're actually going to be talking about Hollowified, I think, or Hollowified. Now, Hollowified, this one did drop a lot recently, but I do gotta say, it do got potential. It got mad potential. To me, what makes Hollowified stand out really from the rest of the games is that Hollowified really takes more off the hollow side of Bleach. Now, majority of the Bleach games really push and focus on the Soul Reaper content, so like the Shikais, the Bankais, they really push more towards that. But Hollow 5, I think, definitely dives more into like the Minnows, Vastalordes, and like the raw chaotic energy from Hollows period. Now the movement system seems pretty fast and fluid. Combat feels weighty. Animations are done pretty good, actually, if I'm not, you know, if I do say so myself. Animations are pretty good. And the map gives off like, you know, a eerie slash atmospheric Hueco Mondo vibe. And what also stands like out for me for this Bleach game is that the Bleach game does actually, it actually seems like it's gonna stay more true to like the source materials, unlike all the other like Bleach games on the platform. Even like for the like the Hakuda sneaks, like the Hakudas so far, the sneaks for that is like, you seem like you're gonna stay more grounded half the time versus like Type Soul, where Hakuda was pretty air reliant in a way. So I definitely appreciate them trying to like add and fix that effort. The maps so far, when they show like the maps, as far as like the sneaks go, the maps actually not that bad. Also, it actually looks pretty good. It's not that bad at all. Now keep in mind the game is still in early development, so there are going to be bugs, balancing issues, content somewhat a little limited, but again, a rush game is never a good game, as I always say. So they might surprise us. This might come out to be like, you know, the actual Bleach game. But if the devs, you know, they keep improving it like how they have, Hollow 5, like I said, could become easily one of the best Bleach experiences on the platform by the end of this year. Really, that was pretty much it for the list of the best Bleach games I've listed this year. If you have a Bleach game that I haven't mentioned that you felt like should have gotten mentioned, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what game it is and why. Actually, I kind of want to see your opinion, like hear your thoughts. If you haven't already, leave a like, comment, subscribe, come join the family. And as always, I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.